Good evening, everyone, and welcome once again to the place to be each and every Sunday night, where tonight we are here at the sacred home of Australian motorsport, Mount Panorama, for round 7, season 22 of Sunday Night Lights, where biggest field we've had in a very long time. Mr. Corey Steinhauser joining me once again. I'm Alex McKellar, and Corey, damn son, big field tonight.
That's right, Alex. We got a 49-18 strength of field. We haven't heard of numbers this big in a very long time, and it is so awesome to have this at our home track on iRacing, the Mount Panorama Circuit here in Bathurst. Great field of drivers assembled. We've got Benny Simpson, Julian Alfrey, Nagai. We've got Valerino in the 4 car, Edwin Valerino, and Loris Amadio as the fifth plated car. That is a stout top five to have in the rankings, Alex. It's going to be great to see what these guys can do on the track.
Yeah, absolutely. Our current, well, actually, he lost the lead of the series. He didn't wake up in time for last week's race, Simonson, so he's no longer on top. Fraser said the welcome race, red face racer back. Nagai son has to be one of the unluckiest racers going around, honestly. He's so quick, leading Japanese driver, of course, and he just can't take a trick. Then, of course, you got the fastest Panamanian on earth, Edward Valerino. He's in the fourth plated car, and Amadio, who I think we might have seen last week, didn't we, Corey? I thought he showed up last week as well for his debut.
Yeah, he did indeed, Alex, and he had an absolutely cracking race, I do believe, if my memory serves me correct. It's been a long week of Bathurst and Daytona for me, so it's a little bit hard for me to try and keep up with what's going on.
Yeah, absolutely. And then we've got Caleb Hires, who I think we've seen before, but not for a while. I know I've certainly raced him previously. He's the 6th, 7th. Christopher Zoschling, who, if memory serves, might have some real track experience. Real race driver there. Xavi Ross, who we saw for the first time last week. He's the 8-plated car. Of course, Giuseppe Tellini, somewhat of a regular here. Caleb Hires was the first ANZ driver, of course. And the second rated one here is Brett McBurney, who is becoming quite a regular here at Sunday Night Lights for the Aussies, Corey.
Yeah, that's right, Alex. We've been seeing him just about every week now. And in this race, he is the 10-plated car, so he's just above. No, actually, no, just below the middle of the split, which is crazy to consider with him being a 4.7K driver. And just below him, and as the 11th plated car, is Enzo Cantor, Alex.
Yeah, crazy to see Enzo down number 11. Then we see last week's winner, Danny Blanco. I don't know, it was Daniel, I thought. Oh, he must be using his main account. He was worried about getting in, perhaps, Blanco. Last week he won the race, but didn't have his main account. Forgiorini here in 13th. Getting his eye rating back up, of course. Ludwig Geedy, the double I, which I found out this week's actually Smurf. So it's Smurf and Ludwig Geedy. Imagine if he brought his 6 or 7K account here. Sam Devantia, the cowboy, the 15th plated car tonight for ANZ and Speedy Snells. Corey Lean, hasn't he come a long way? Corey has been working his numbers to get into this top split, even at this sort of level, and there he is, 17th, second last in, Gail Kawabe-san. I was looking for his name before, Corey. I couldn't quite see it, and then I've spotted it down at 17th, and sneaking in as the last driver, team boss man for VDR Team Milo, Russell Clark. Corey, great to see at least one Milo car in there.
Well, that's right, Alex. And unfortunately, it looks like we've missed out on the chance of having the Milo versus Speedy Snails battle. I've heard some whispers that Håkon Grebstad, one of our top split regulars, is the number 1 car in second split, which is an absolute travesty for us. But, that just means that we have such a high quality field of cars here today that even guys that we recognize as being really good drivers can't make it in. I mean, Russell only just sneaking in with a 4.1K I rating. You know, I don't think we've ever had it, so you had to have a 4K to be in this race, Alex.
41.67 buys you the last ticket into this show, but we do have We do have a Speedy Snails in there, one Sam Devantier, so we will get to see that battle. But crazy to think Sam's now the number one Speedy Snails driver. Grebstead can't get a run. But up the top of the provisional timings, coming around for his second lap, is Benny Simonson, 32 dead, which is a great effort first lap round. Interesting to see what he can pull out ahead of that. He's full nearly 3.5 tenths of Nagai. Nagai-san, the Japanese driver, of course, he is great in quali. Put it on pole at least once. He's just got to stick clear of the trouble here tonight, Corey.
And that's going to be the hard part, Alex. The top of the hill, as you and I both know really well, tightens up considerably when we get into the S's, into the downhill section, and into the dipper. And I'm expecting there to be at least one small Daytona-style pile-up going into the S's at some point in this race, possibly early on while they're on cold tires. But we'll have to wait and see. But it should be an amazing race while these guys are zipping around for qualifying here. Also, very
Yeah.
hard to get qualifying in, Alex, because it's a very long lap here, and you've only got 8 minutes to get both your laps in.
Yeah, 100%, mate. It is tough. You've got to get straight out and into it. I think I'll tell you what, we're riding on with Valerino at the moment. He might struggle to get there. But a few of the boys they'll be all coming around about the same time. So they'll all be just getting their last laps in with about nearly 30 seconds to go. Simonson's a pretty good judge of this kind of thing, so I imagine he'll see his second lap in. Nagai's a little bit ahead, although it looks like he might have picked up a 1x and may not advance from second spot on the grid. Valerino coming down into the final corner. There's your top three provisionally. What's Valerino got for us? Cantor jumps up to P4. That's a great qualifying, possibly his best for the season so far. Valerino up to top of the pops. What's Simonson got for us? Simonson, yes, he has. He's jumped right up to the top, 31.7, some 2 tenths quicker than Valerino. And Nagai, he's done and dusted for the evening. Now, quickly, we'll grab our grid before the action gets underway. Round 7 from Bathurst here for season 22, a Sunday Night Lights. Benny Simonson for Apex Racing on pole once again tonight, just ahead of the fastest Panamanian you've ever seen, Mr. Edwin Valerino. Starting from second off the grid. Second row tonight, Naoya Nagai's son from Japan, starting in third. Loris Amadio, his second week in the top split race here tonight from Italy, starting from fourth. Danny Blanco from Iberia in fifth tonight. Enzo Cantor from Movano Sim Racing, starting from sixth. Redface Racing's Julian O'Fray in seventh. Eighth off the grid tonight will be Ludwig Guidi, Smurf and Ludwig Guidi. Ninth off the grid, the first ANZ driver showing he has got some pace around here still, Mr. Russell Clark for Team Milo. Brett McBurney, the second ANZ driver, out of 10th tonight. Daniele Forgiorini from Italy out of 11th. Sam Devantier, the Speedy Snails driver, out of 12th here tonight. 13th tonight, Caleb Hydes, the ANZ driver. 14th, Giuseppe Tellini from Italy. 15th tonight, Gail Kawabe. Kawabe's son from Japan. Corey Lean from ANZ out of 16th. Christopher Zochling, 1.3 seconds behind out of 17th. And Xavier Ross for Ori's racing team out of 18th tonight. 10 laps, expecting plenty from them, Corey. Looking forward to it immensely.
Yeah, that's right, Alex. It's going to be interesting to see what these drivers can do in the draft. I mean, we know a couple of small mistakes, and the gaps can start widening very quickly. Got 3 very critical corners on this track. They've been the first corner, the exit of the cutting, and the exit of Forest Elbow, because those are areas that all lead into some no-lift areas, and it's going to be a tough one if even small mistakes are made in those areas.
Yeah, 100%, mate. There's walls everywhere as the red lights come on, because the red lights mean rev. And the green lights mean go. We are away for round 7 of season 22 of Sunday Night Lights, as the flag marshal once again vigorously and enthusiastically waves the green flag. As we see Simonson come through Hell Corner for the first time round, leads this amazing field of Skip Barber drivers here. Some of the best in the world going around here. Simpson been dominating here this week, Corey. Expect to see some fantastic driving here tonight up front. Valerino pulls out of the draft and decides to run pretty smart here. They've almost got a gap from Nagai. Nagai tucks in behind with Amadio. Long line of skippies snake their way up through Griffins for the first time round, Corey.
And we've already lost one towards the back. Forglorini got a little bit sideways coming into the second corner there, and looks like he just caught the wheel a little bit. Not too much damage, a little bit on the rear of his wing, but that's definitely not all she wrote for him yet, unless he can't get back into the draft. Going up to the front of the pack again, it's still Simonson from Ballerino, and Dyson has closed up that gap to our 2 leaders for the moment, Alex.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just trying to find the back of that pack. It's actually Geedy on the back. They're just hanging on there. There was a gap opened up there between Geedy and now the 9th place McBurney, and I think it was at the expense of Russell Clark. There might have been some 2x2 through Griffins the first time round, and that's opened up a gap. So we're down to about 8 cars in the front pack. And that's where I think there's so much pace up the front. Oh, that's where I think this one's going to be won and lost, even at this early stage, Corey.
Yeah, well, the draft is very crucial around this track, Alex, and the only 2 real passing zones are on the first straight, Mountain Straight, as you're going up the hill, and this straight right here, Conrod coming down. I mean, Conrod is a 1,600-meter long straightaway, or 1 mile in the old language. And as you can see, Ballerino going for the overtake on Simonson, looking to do a little bit of leapfrog here at the front. Same too with the second pack as well. Don't quite know which drivers are at the front of that one, but a lot of passing going on down Conrod Straight, Alex.
Yeah, it was Devantio who had a little bit of a wiggle through the kink there. Gets it done on the front of that pack, just ahead of McBurney in the Oculus liveried car. We've got Simonson now tucked in behind Villarino, I should say. They're coming through the final corner of Murray's there. And it is a long, fast train of skippies at the front. What have they got there? They've got about, what's that gap there? They've got about 2.4 seconds back to McBurney in 9th, who looks to have gone past Devantia in between the chase and the final corner there as McBurney runs incredibly wide out of Hell Corner. That would have checked up their run even further. And that 2.4 second gap is now approaching 3 seconds. And the front 9 skip away once again, Corey.
Yeah, now they're 3 wide for the front of that second pack, Alex. Looks like the Milo car of Russell Clark going to pull away with the lead of that little group. McBurney has fallen back to the 10th position as I saw Caleb Hyde going very wide through Griffins. It worried me a little bit. But back up towards the front, and still Edwin Ballerino in front of Benny Simonson. And these guys in the front pack are driving a very smart race right now, Alex. They're not getting too aggressive, and they're just sticking to the lines, making smart overtakes when they need to, and they're just pulling away from that second pack.
Yeah, absolutely. The telemetry showing Forgiorini in the lead. I'm thinking he must have taken a tow, and it'll fix up when we cross the line next time round for the telemetry, because it is Ballerino as they cross down through Skyline into the S's and into that famous dipper. It's a blind, sinking apex there. You've got to be very careful as there's the clutches of the concrete waiting for you around each and every bend. This time round, the crunching of cars as they appear to hit walls. I don't know about you, Corey. The tracks with a lot of walls around seem to have these false positive contacts more often than not. And Bathurst being no exception, all these cars still looking straight despite the crunching of metal sounds in the background.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's all down to the server, Alex, because with different servers, especially for spectators, the amount of lag that we see can be varied. Like, say, if we were in a European server, which I do believe we are in for tonight's race, then you and myself will be seeing a lot more false hits against the walls than what we normally would. But in saying that, we do still see a lot of bottoming out, especially across the top of the mountain. And that's not because of the downforce that these cars generate. It's just the sheer amount of speed and undulation across the top of the mountain.
Yeah, absolutely. We saw Geedy make a move on O'Fray through there at the chase, and O'Fray just grabbing some air, perhaps out of frustration more than anything else. It's a who's who in this front pack. You start with Valerino on the front, and our telemetry still showing Forgiorini on the lead, and that's not correct, folks. Simonson in second, Amadio, you've got Blanco, there we go, in the pits goes Forgiorini. I think. Anyway, and then you've got Simonson takes the lead on the approach up to Griffins. Valerino, the smartest and the fastest Panamanian race around, just lets him pull into line without compromising their exit speed from Griffins there, as you see. O'Fray in the background, though, 2 by 2 behind. What have we got? The guys come back in. And it's actually Geedy there looking to make advances there past his teammate, judging by the livery, Enzo Cantor, who's there sitting in 7th with O'Fray in 8th position, sitting on the back of that pack, Corey.
And it's actually pretty crazy that we still got 8 cars in this pack. I thought there would have been at least one mistake made across the top, because there's certain areas like coming across the hump here into the left kink before you get over towards Skyline. The car gets very unsettled just in that one little section alone, with the elevation change being very quick and then the change of direction as well. It looks like the drivers are handling themselves pretty well. I'd expect nothing less from this caliber of field. And Alfred being on the back of this pack, I reckon he's just biding his time back there, Alex, waiting for someone to slip up and for him to take advantage.
Yeah, potentially. You talk about mistakes. Well, there's only a small one. I'm hoping we might go grab it and replay later in the race that cost this front group of 8 cars. Sorry, the chasing pack led by Caleb Hydes now, the ANZ driver. You got Devantia, McBurney, Tolini, Clark, all in this pack here. And these guys here are now, what's that, 4 seconds behind? After only 2.5 laps, coming on 3 now. And that's the smallest of mistakes. We see 3 cars wide. We see Tolini, McBurney make it 2 with Speedy Snell's driver Devantia and the Team Milo Bossman tucked side by side. They go through the chase. The Milo car relents, lets the Speedy Snells go through, and it's Zavi Roos, the other black car in the front pack last week, buried deep in the field this week, Corey.
Yeah, that's right, Alex. It's not a good run for those guys in the back of the pack at the moment, but they're still trying to chase those coveted SNL points for the top 12. But going back up the front of the pack, Ballerino back into the lead from Simonson, but it looks like our top 5 are starting to pull away from the next 3 here a little bit, which is now being led by one Julian Alfray.
Yeah, what's O'Fray got? He's there, 1.4 seconds. He's made a move to get up a couple of spots ahead of Cantor and Geedy, no doubt through the chase, but that's cost them the front pack. It's now a pack of 5 with Nagai sitting on the rear end of that one. As we see side by side they go. That's not how to get through there quickly and catch the guys. O'Fray, Geedy, those guys should know better. That is no way to catch the guys in front, and they're already down 1.4 seconds. It's just so fast up the front, led by Simonson and Valerino, racing incredibly smart, just switching at the right spots. Every chance of getting away. They're down to 1.1, 1.2 seconds, but as we jump back up front, we see Simonson leading it over the top. Concertina or not, these guys might just run away with it, Corey.
I think it's very possible that they will, Alex, because it's just the speed that these guys are going around the track at the moment. They're doing 31.8s in this front pack. And, that is absolutely nothing to sneeze at, especially with the track being as hot as what it is at the moment. So these guys definitely pushing the limits, trying to extract every single little bit of speed they can. And, they're throwing all caution into the wind, but they're doing it in a very smart way. And that's shown by just the way that they've been pulling away from all the cars behind.
Absolutely. Simonson once again through the elbow there, showing his class. Can I tell you, I've watched him do a few laps here this week. Remarkably fast. His car control over the top. He was streaming. Benny Simonson, I think if you look him up on Twitch, you'll find him. Beautiful control of the rotation. Just looks so smooth and in control. And that comes from someone who's done a lot of laps here in real life. Of course, I don't know if it's still the case, but certainly he held the record here in one class in real life. He drove a Ferrari around here for 12 hours and different events here, and he knows how to get around this joint despite being from over the ditch somewhere. He's over, of course, he's a Scandinavian driver living in the UK these days. But
actually, in the background, Alex,
what do we got?
Interrupt you.
Cantor dropping down the order.
In the back.
Oh, Cantor, all sorts of trouble there. Let me just see if I can't find the action there. Cantor, no, he's already gone off there. Let's try here, see if this is the one. Yeah, into the chase. He's side by side with O'Fray. O'Fray kicks off the curb there of the apex of the chase, and then Cantor runs into the kitty litter, comes back on track into the wall on the other side, and then, oh, don't tell me he reverses into traffic. Oh, yes, he does. Enzo. That's not how to win friends and influence people, my friend. But that's one for another day. As we jump back up front, you've got Simonson, Valerino, Amadio, Blanco, Nagae still running away with this with now 1.7 second gap.
Yeah, and that 1.7 seconds, Alex, that was all caused by Enzo's mistake there. No draft for the other two drivers there of Guidi and Alfrey, and that has led to them getting a little bit of a slower time on that lap, which has, of course, extended that gap to the front pack.
Yeah, absolutely. Front pack, we have Simonson, Valerino leading the way. Cool heads prevailing here at the front. Look at them all nice and tight up there throughout. Great to see Nagai on the back of that pack getting a clean run this week. Look for him to use that pace towards the end and see how he progresses ahead of last week's winner in Danny Blanco. I think he's got another Smurf account there. This one with a bit more I rating to get into what is a bumper 4,900 plus soft here tonight. Almost cracked the 5K, mate. Wouldn't the dream is still alive for that. But Simonson, Valerino, once again, no doubt. Oh, hang on. Here we go. Amadio's looking on the tail of Valerino now. He's just going to tuck in. No, he's going to pull out, is he? He's going to pull out. 3 wide. They go down into the kick. This time around the leaders. They've built up such a lead. It's Amadio looking to come through. Valerino comes across in front of Simonson, who patiently sits in behind. Into the braking zone they go. 3 wide into 1. They've got it done. The 5-plated car of Amadio takes the lead for the first time in this race, Corey.
And that was an incredible move, Alex. I don't think I have the bravery to go 3 wide down Conrod Straight, as the skippies here tip nearly 200 kilometers an hour. And, they managed to make it work, but they did lose a little bit of time there to both Daniel and to Nagai. And it looks like, they're still trying to build a little bit of a gap here, but it's very close quarters there. I almost thought I saw a nose to tail going between Valerino and Simonson, but Simonson, with the skill that he has, managed to pull it up without touching the back of Valerino's car, Alex.
Yeah, done a very good job here now. Oh, Mario taking defensive line. Oh, there'll be Guidi and O'Fray licking their lips in the background there. No, perhaps he's just leaving the line open for Valerino. I'm not sure yet. Tucks in behind. Oh, I thought it was all going to be on there for a second with the balance of 5 laps to go. We're halfway through the race already, Corey, and these blokes are certainly making every post a winner at this point.
Yeah, it's very entertaining racing, Alex. The time is absolutely flying by. I can't believe we're actually halfway through this race already. But these guys are definitely putting up the entertainment factor for us here today. I think they know, because this is such a special track for us Australians, with this being an Australian-based series, that they're going to turn up the heat for this one, and they're definitely not disappointing us as they go thundering across the top of the mountain here. It's absolutely a 100% commitment area in qualifying and in the race. You don't want to be lifting at any point until you get over here to Skyline, where you got to start braking as you're coming down the hill, all the way down to second gear before you get into the dipper, Alex.
Yeah, through the dipper they go, trying to get as much curb as you can on the exit there. We're riding on board with Benny Simonson, of course, as he comes down to the left-hander at the elbow. Look how close to the wall he goes on entry and exit. And this is where the fun begins, folks. This is where you start finding out what you're made of. Will they make it 2 and 3 wide again? This time round, Amadio's tucked in behind Valerino, pulls out of the draft. Side by side, they go under the Fuso Bridge this time round. Simonson looks like he's going to sit, is he? He's going to sit patiently. Yes, he is. Valerino just tucks in behind, a little bit loose as you come over the crest of the kink, braking zone hard. Oh, again, Simonson very deep on the brakes. Looked like he was almost having the Panamanian ride the front of his nose cone there. Was Nagai getting interested now? He shows the nose here into the final corner at Murray's, but once again, tucks happily in behind. As this time round, Loris Amadio leads for a second time round. O'Fray and Guidi seem to have calmed down and sorted it out, but Corey, they're still some 1.9 seconds behind and growing by the looks.
It's going to be very hard for them to try and bridge that gap, Alex. I mean, they're just two cars against the five ahead of them. And I would actually suggest that maybe the pack behind, if they've gotten themselves sorted out here, currently being led by Caleb Hyde's six plated car. Now, if these guys are starting to calm down here a little bit, which it looks like they kind of have, and they've also split off into a couple of packs here themselves, maybe they could start bridging that gap to our Frey and Geedy and try and make a race of this. I mean, I know there's only 4 laps left to run in this race, but it's still 4 very long laps, Alex.
Yeah, side by side through Griffins puts pay to any hope they've got in that respect, Corey. Unfortunately, McBurney and Hydes, the two ANZ drivers, trying to go side by side through Griffins. They should know better. They've done enough laps around here. Xavier Ross, he's in 11th, followed by Zochling, Clark and Devantia. They're continuing that battle, but they're both down 4 and 2 positions respectively. They will not be happy with that, but still, they're in a pack of half a dozen cars. They can move forward from there. As once again, we see the Panamanian, Edward and Valerino, lead them across the top of the mountain, with Amadio sitting in second and Simonson, with Blanco and Nagai still forming this front pack of a top 5 there, Corey. And look, just in the background, I was trying to grab a picture before of Geedy and O'Fray. You could just see how close that. Let me just grab the roll bar view here. That is how close, how frustratingly close they are. It's 1.4, so they got a bit over the mountain, but that draft, that rubber banded draft in front of them, will pull some of the cars just out of draft range. You can see they've lost 3/10 down the straight. They'll get a bit back through the chase, no doubt, if they're smart about it, but that's how frustratingly close they are to the lead pack, Corey.
Well, maybe they've been taking some lessons from Manuel Big Brakes Luqueta as they're trying to use the braking zones and the corners to gain whatever time they can on this front pack. As I said, it's no mean feat, Alex, but it is definitely doable. They've just got to make sure they can close the gap at the right time. And once they get to about 1 second, I reckon the rubber banding effect from the draft of the guys in front of them will be that little bit negated, and they could start making gains, especially going down Conrod Straight.
Well, I want to get a wriggle on because they didn't do any drafting, leapfrogging down there, and it's cost them a bit because they're better part of 2 seconds behind now. They lost some time to this lead pack who are doing the right thing and leapfrogging. Wonder how long now Simonson's going to wait. They've got 3 laps to go this time round. Lap 8, of course, side by side. Answer my question straight away. Side by side, they go at the front. They got 3 laps to go, but each of them wanting to position themselves already, and that will be putting a smile on the dial of Geedy and Alfred behind them. As side by side, they continue to go into the cutting this time round. It's very difficult to get done. Simonson up the inside of Blanco this time round. Blanco left the inside run up the hill, and Simonson forced to step back into line there as Blanco elbows his way through the 12-plated car up into 3rd position. Expect that. Oh, Simonson's. Oh, nose to tail. A little bit of contact there between he and Blanco as they come over the top this time round. Flat out in 4th gear through here. The guy licking his lips the whole way round. Up through Skyline this time round. It looked like almost like Simonson was threatening the overtake across the top there, Corey.
Well, I can tell you right now, Alex, on my screen, Simonson has no nose cone right now. So a little bit of contact made there with Daniel Blanco as they were going across the top. That's going to hamper his top end speed when he gets back out front, if he can indeed get back out front. But we know that Blanco is a very aggressive driver. He has cleaned up his act a bit in the past couple of months, but still that aggression is there. And it's going to be interesting to see now what will happen as the laps start ticking away more, as we see Simonson going for a big move on Blanco coming into the chase. Looks like he's going to be side by side as they come into the braking zone, side by side for the leaders as well. 2 by 2 they go through the chase. Everyone comes out of it fair and square so far, and that is going to be Simonson back up into 3rd. But with just 2 laps to go, Alex, it looks like the gloves are well and truly off. and already back in the cupboard.
Oh, Simonson up the inside forces Valerino off track there. Neither of them will be too happy about that. Simonson taking the defensive line now from Blanco. He's here to race now. Blanco switches back. No, tucks back into line, and we see Nagai come back up. And now we've got a pack of 7 cars as through all those shenanigans, the chasing pack there of Gideon O'Fray has caught up as we see Blanco going up the inside of Simonson now on the run into Griffins. I see the note in the chat. We have had a big accident in that trailing pack. You see the distance. There's nobody in the distance. This is the front pack. We'll go back and see if we can't pick up what happened there later in the race. I've got it marked for review later on. But we've got 7 cars now with a balance of 2 laps to go. They all settle down that time around. It's Blanco looking to make 2 from 2. And you're right, Simonson missing the front nose. He's not happy about that, let me tell you. He's got the elbows out and probably smiling, actually, I should say. Talking to him during the week. He doesn't come here for the I rating. He comes here for the racing, Corey.
Yeah, there's going to be some incredible racing here as we've got about a lap and a half left to run as they're coming across the top of the mountain. You can see Simonson trying to look for moves across the top. I mean, it's not very often you see moves being made across the top of the mountain, but Simonson trying to look for any possible chink in Blanco's armor, while Blanco similarly is right on the tail of Amadio, trying to look for a way around him across the top to come down into the dipper for the penultimate time. These drivers are definitely leaving it all out and on the track right now, Alex.
Yeah, 100% Corey. We've got this 7-car pack now led by names unfamiliar to us in the top split racing here on a Sunday night. Amadio and Blanco, of course, becoming familiar after taking out the Interlagos round last week. Simonson now showing the nose, the well air-conditioned nose of his Skippy to Blanco 3 wide. They're going to go straight down Conrod this time under the Fuso sign, wondering if Simonson's struggling a bit because of that missing nose cone. Blanco, Simonson, Amadio 3 wide through the kink. They go this time round. They've held it. Amadio pulls over to the inside into the braking zone. He'll push Blanco to the outside. Will he get kicked off? He did get kicked off the curbing there, but they managed to hang on to it. Sensational racing now as we see Nagai being challenged by Guidi into the final corner of Murray's. 2x2 Amadio pushing Valerino. Oh, he clipped the grass on the braking zone there. How did he hang on to that, Valerino? Second lap in a row. He's gone to the grass on the exit of the last corner. 3 wide they go in the background there. This time, oh, Nagai desperately looking to follow the 14-plated car of Ludwig Guidi through Hell Corner this time round, but none of them got any sort of run as the white flag comes out and the run-up Mountain Straight begins, Corey.
And it is going to be continuing on here with Blanco and Simonson going side by side up the mountain. And here comes Amadio as well. He wants to get in on this battle. Looks like Blanco's going to take the advantage for now as we head into Griffin's Bend. Simonson just slotting there into the second place. He is going to be in the hot foot position as they come across the mountain, and when they come back down on Conrod Straight again, we see Simonson just experimenting with different lines already, trying to look for another way around, see if he can maybe shoot one up the inside of Blanco at one of these corners. But it's going to be a hard task coming across the top of the mountain. As I said on the previous lap, not a place where you usually see overtakes, and I'd be hard-pressed to see Simonson make such a silly move unless he goes through and properly calculates it, but there's not enough time for that, as Amadio just sitting there in third, another driver who could be in a very good position here, especially if the front two come together, Alex.
Yeah, absolutely right there, Corey, as they come down through the S's for the final time. Amadio right on the tailpipe of Simpson, who looks to have backed up a little bit to get the proper use of the draft. He's perfectly positioned, and he's backed him up, so it's now again a 7-car pack as they come into Forest Elbow for the final time. Little bit of nose-to-tail contact there between Gideon and Valerino's into the wall. Nagai's dodged it for the first time in his life. He hasn't been caught up in an incident. Nagai, as they go 3 wide in the background, but this is where it counts. Simonson, he's in the back, or the draft of Blanco this time round. He's forced around the outside. Blanco takes the inside run into the kink. You can get it done either way. What's Amadio going to do? He's going to make it. Yeah, he's tucked in behind as Blanco covers off. This time round, Simonson almost a clear run through there. Simonson making a very wide skip. He's doing a fantastic job. It's going to be Simonson's race to lose it. Will he pick up the slowdown there? Simonson, Blanco coming back at him. It's all coming down to the final corner this time round. Blanco looking for 2 in a row. Simonson looking for his 4th race win of the season. Pulls out wide. Plants the foot on exit. Oh, runs him off the road. Blanco, and it's all come a cropper at the end. I'll tell you what. Blanco drove him into the wall there. That's one way to take a victory, but not one that'll win you too many friends. Valerino there crippled and coming across the line. We'll take another look at that in a moment. Do we see McBurney? He's coming down to finish, Corey, but I don't know how you saw that one, mate, but AFL hip and shoulder are plenty there across the line that time round.
Yeah, that's right, Alex. Well, I know squeezing people towards the very edges of the outside of the track is a thing in motorsports. We see it all the time in real life racing, but it still makes it a very gray area on what is acceptable and what is not. We'll probably end up having a chat with Simonson after this and get his opinion on it, because no doubt he will want to come in and have a little bit of a chat about it. I'm actually still watching one of the battles on track. It's between the 7 of Zhou Ching and Russell Clark. They're battling it out for the 10th position here, Alex, as they come into the final corner side by side.
Just watching Clark go around the outside. Oh, how did they not make contact there, Zochling and Clark? Clark coming home for P10, down 2 from where he started, but in the SNL points. And no doubt, yeah, he even gained some I rating out of that. So it's not the worst night he could have had, but I know the Team Milo boss man would have wanted a bit better from his night out at the mountain. I might just go back and take a look at this finish here, if I can. No, that's not where I want to go to. I'm sure I want to go here. Is that where I want to go? Yeah, there we go. So we're just coming down into the chase from this front 3. We see Simonson there. Oh no, we'll keep it going full speed. Simonson covers off beautifully there. Makes very difficult for 2 drivers to get by, which is not something you see. Although he did shift to the right, left a car width on the outside for Blanco. I wondered if he really checked his run, and that's what cost him there. He went very deep under brakes, be kicking himself over that little mistake. And then as we come down into the final corner, I wondered if he picked up a slowdown, if I'm honest, but he obviously didn't. They're a bit more generous there. And if you see there, he swings out to take the better line in, very deep under brakes. You can see the Skippy sliding more than turning at that point. But then you see Blanco here. He kicked on a bit of the curb, but he left the foot in it. I think he had the race won anyway, probably. Look where he tracks out. There is, he's only got 2 wheels just on the exit curbing there. There's no room for Simonson there. And that, like I said, that's not how you win friends around here, Corey.
Yeah, and saying that, Alex, I had another look at the replay myself. It does look like Simonson was trying to limit the amount of room Blanco had for the corner. Possibly the tracking out that Blanco had there was because of the contact to his right rear. I mean, it's just stuff we don't know. We don't know if Blanco planned out for to swing out that wide and try and block off the run. He probably thought that he was also going to get Simonson clear in the corner. Which I'm not trying to make excuses for him here, Alex, but there's always 2 sides to the story, or 3 sides if you include ours watching it. But it's still a very difficult thing to try and make a judgment call on.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just trying to go back and find this massive incident. Yeah, there's the start of it there up front, and I'm wondering if it's all. Yeah, look, it's going to become a parking lot here. You watch. All these cars. Oh, that's massive. That is an absolutely massive incident there at the cutting. It's covered everyone there. We might just go and see if we can't pick it up again here. Yeah, this looks like it, is it? Yeah, as we come in through here. Who we got? Is it Fulgarini? No, it's not. Get back in here. Looks like into the rear there. Oh, that's a terrible angle. The tree's in the way. We've just missed the contact up the front. And we see the 9 car there go underneath Tellini, and then it's just that's massive. You can see why the rear half of this field went straight into the pits. Um, it's just a nightmare. That's the car park incident at Woolies on a Saturday morning. They may as well be. There may as well be shopping carts at that point, Corey, and that's the big one that we hoped wouldn't happen, mate. But look, while we get over that one, let's go check out our results for tonight. Of course, round 7 of season 22 of Sunday Night Lights, we saw Daniel Blanco get his second race win in a row after taking out Interlagos last week. No doubt happy about that. There you go. You got O'Fray and Guidi, second and third respectively, after fighting their way back up. Back up through the order after being dropped for a little while. It got busy up the front and they were able to bridge that gap and grab second and third on the podium. Quite a great result for them. Naoya Nagai-san finally cracking it for a top 5 tonight after luck finally going his way. Up until now, the only luck he'd had, if he'd had any, was bad luck. Finishing 4th, the Japanese driver, one step off that first Japanese podium for SNL. Laura Samadio from Italy grabbing the last of the top 5 positions. Benny Simonson, after really starting to turn the wick up at the end there. Look, it's a tough racing incident there at the end, but I think he was pretty hard done by, if I have to admit, finishing in 6th. 7th, similarly, the fastest Panamanian, Edward Valerino, who got shuffled back towards the end there as the elbows really started to come out. No doubt he would have liked a better result. Brett McBurney, the leading ANZ driver here in 8th tonight after clearing the Woolies car park incident at the cutting in the last few laps. P9 tonight, Daniele Forgherini from Italy. That's his best result in a little while. Christopher Zoschling, who joins us, I think, for the first time tonight, rounding out your top 10. Russell Clark, Team Milo Bossman, finishing in 11th. Xavi Ross, his for Ori's racing team. His second race here, rounding out the Sunday Night Lights point scoring positions. Just ahead of Speedy Snails driver Sam Devantier in 13th. Giuseppe Tellini from Italy in 14th. Corey Lean, the ANZ driver, in 15th. Caleb Hyde, similarly from ANZ, in 16th. Gail Kawabe, Japanese owned Kawabe-san, he's in 17th. And Enzo Cantor from Movano Sim Racer, another one who might walk away with a few less Christmas cards after reversing back on track. He's down all the way down in 18th tonight, Corey. That was certainly the mountain. It gave us a bit of fun here tonight, at least.
Oh, that's right, Alex. I mean, Bathurst always delivers no matter what. And, as the saying goes, anything can and will happen, especially at Bathurst. And we saw a parking lot, we saw some good, hard, fast racing, and we saw a little bit of drama there, especially at the end. So, I reckon that this ticks off the boxes for the standard Bathurst kind of race, as I think we've got a couple of people waiting to get some interviews done.
Yeah, let's grab our first one there. Mr. Julian O'Fray. Julian, welcome once again to the Top Split TV commentary booth. It looked for a while there like Ludwig, were out of the race, but you fought your way back after some hard racing at the front and ended up in second place, mate. Congratulations. What a race.
Oh, no, 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 no. I was totally out of focus. For me, it's not a good race. I touched Ludwig so many times. I we try to work together, but sometimes we just don't understand each other, and I don't know if you see it, but 3, maybe 4 time I touch his rear.
Yeah, mate, it's tough, you know. I mean, you're trying your hardest to get around there. I did see you guys go side by side through Griffins at one point, and I thought that's probably what cost you the gap there that you had to fight to get back. And it's hard when everyone in the race, it's such a strong field and everyone thinks they want to lead because it's the fastest and it leads to stuff like that. But look, good close racing in the end. You got second in the race and Giddy not far behind. So all's well that ends well, mate. But look, thank you for your participation here this week. Massive race. What did you think of the strength of field and the type of drivers that showed up tonight?
I don't know how many SOF.
Oh, it was 4,918, I think, at the end. So it was a big
Oh,
one.
nice, 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 nice. Yes, yes, it's the big one, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
it's nice to have a big driver, and it's pretty fun to race against them. I like this. I like this. It's better than to race alone in front when there is no level. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely,
And
mate.
I want to apologize for Enzo. I just destroy him. I touched the curb in the inside, and I have to go a bit outside to don't spin, and I destroy him.
Yeah.
Sorry, Enzo.
Yeah, thanks, Julian. I'm sure he'll appreciate it once he calms down. He had a bit of a rough ride tonight. But listen, thank you again for joining us. Great fields like this is why we all come out to race. So congratulations on the podium, and hopefully we'll see you in the coming weeks.
Thank you. See you next week.
Yeah, Corey, that was Julian O'Fray, finished second tonight. Great to see Redface Racing back up near the top, eh?
Yeah, that's exactly right, Alex. I mean, we haven't seen Red Face Racing be in, the top areas of positioning for a while. Julian himself having not the best of runs since making his return to Sunday Night Lights, but it's really good seeing him back up at P2 and hopefully more positions like that to come in his future.
Yeah, absolutely. Next on our list is third place getter, Ludwig Geedy. Smurf and Ludwig Geedy, I found out this week. Congratulations, mate. I was just saying to your partner in crime here tonight, Julian O'Fray, that you had to work very hard to stay in touch and get back into that lead pack. And then when all the house of cards fell down, you were able to capitalise and grab third position there, mate. Congratulations on the podium. Exciting race there for you tonight.
Yeah, thank you. Hello, guys. Actually, I didn't really practice for this week. I had maybe like 10 laps in. So it was really tough, especially in the quali, because I spun on my out lap, which meant that I had only one flying lap. So I knew it would be tough. And yeah, starting from, I don't remember, P8 or P9, something like that, I had to work my way back once again. Really need to work on that. And yeah, it was really tough. We lost the train, maybe due to my bad. I was following Nagai in the downhill section, and it's actually super hard to follow a guy from Asia or uh, that far away from me, in the sense that his car was on my side was on the wall, coming back on the track, flying at some point, so you don't really know where he is, and that's disturbing. And yeah, so we lost the pack. Then I was working a bit with Julien, but mostly working on my own to come back. And then it got really hot in the the last two laps, and luckily I grabbed P3, which is not that bad considering I didn't really practice at all. So yeah, and did
Yeah, mate.
some work good.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, sometimes luck goes your way in races like that. And when the elbows came out towards the end, it was yourself and O'Fray who were able to capitalise. So, congratulations on the result. And hopefully, we'll continue to see you here on a Sunday night enjoying the racing, mate. Is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to?
Yeah, thank you. Well, for sure, I'll come back. Yeah, just want to say thank you to Mivano team because I joined them a week ago. So yeah, it's such a good news driving for them and representing Italy. So yeah, shout out to them, and yeah, that's it. And to you also, covering the event.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Ludwig. Now, I'll give you a tip, and those who do want to come into the top split, if you look in our Discord server, there's an SNL registration page or forum that'll tell you how to get your details into the overlays there. That way, you'll get Mivano up in the when we have your name up on the screen as well. So take a look there for yourself, Ludwig, and those at home, and you can add that little bit of extra flavour to and represent your team. But anyway, mate, congratulations, and we look forward to talking to you in the coming weeks.
Perfect. Thank you. See you guys. Bye bye.
Yeah, Corey, that was Ludwig Guidi confirming that he's with Mivano Sim Racing now, along with Enzo and the little seen Manu Luqueta this season. We haven't seen any of him too much, really. Not the champion not backing up to have another crack at the title.
Yeah, I honestly thought we would have seen him here tonight. This is really attractive. I think would suit his style of driving. But either way, it's good to see that we had the two cars representing here tonight with Enzo and Ludwig, and Ludwig with the third place. That is an awesome result considering the circumstances of the race, and it's onwards and upwards from here. This is one of the hardest tracks to get a top three at, and our Frey and Ludwig, you know, they managed to do that here tonight, and hopefully that'll be a big boost to their confidence, and we see them up towards the front again.
Absolutely, and sometimes you make your own luck, and that's the way it went for those two here tonight. But joining us now, finishing down in sixth after such a strong week here, and is young Benny Simonson here for Apex Racing. Benny, you raced so well, and then the elbows came right out at the end, even a couple of laps out, mate. And then I got to say, I was disappointed for you the way that last corner went in particular. But how did you see it out there tonight?
Yeah, I mean, it's probably like 5 guys you can race clean with week in, week out, and then just the same idiot, every single race, just being a twat. Nothing changed, Everybody fears that black car. It's it's win with dignity, or you can win in his way.
And it looked like at one point there you could actually see where the wick got turned up, because it looked like at one moment I don't know if it was just the line you were taking, or you got a bit of overlap across the top and it nicked the front of your nose cone off. And I wondered if that's where that was just preceding that was where the sort of the bit got between the teeth, because it almost looked like you were going to try and overtake him over the top there, mate.
It not really. Like, I was quite happy to sit in third and fourth, because there was a gap developing into fifth or sixth or whatever, and when I was leading, they constantly wanted to battle, so I thought I'd just go back to third, let them go, because I didn't want the gap to Guidi and Julian to close in, because this is two of the best drivers there is. So them being down fifth and sixth, don't really want to draft them back up to the pack. So the third and fourth, but then it just one particular guy just start dive bombing everything on lap 6, 7. So if you want to play elbows out, let's do it then. But like even when he took me nose off, I think I'm going on the outside just to give him space, and he still can't even drive in a straight line. It's like in a straight line he's still moving left, right, just to block, just because he can. So yeah.
Such a shame, mate, because you could see that moment where you guys had that gap, and Gideon and O'Fray were catching, they weren't catching, and then all of a sudden they were, when we saw the 5 cars sort of compressed 2 by 2 down into 3. And that's, of course, not the fastest way around here, and they were just able to catch up and capitalise at the end, mate. But look, I've seen you race around here this week. Looks like you've been having a good time at least, so hopefully the good times will roll on in the remaining weeks of this season. Look, before we let you go, is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to?
We just gonna say thanks for you guys. It's always a pleasure. So we all look forward to the strong stuff races. Even though it turns out sometimes like it did, but yeah.
Yeah, that's the way, mate. That's the way. All right. Well, thanks for joining us again, Benny. Great to have you here. And until next time, we'll catch you next week, hopefully.
Right. See you, boys.
Yeah, Corey, Benny Simonson. Look, I do genuinely enjoy seeing people like Benny in a race like this. They add a lot to the racing here, whether it's, Benny or Julian or Ludwig or some of the Japanese drivers coming through, Nagai and Kawabe-san. Edwin Valerino, like I keep saying, the fastest Panamanian on the planet. It's a global race here now, and it's just great to see such good people turning up week in, week out.
Well, that's right, Alex. I mean, I don't think we've had a field that's had, more than half the field being Aussies in it in a very long time. It just goes to speak to, how much all the internationals really enjoy racing in against our blokes, because you look down in the second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth splits, and there's a lot of Aussie strength throughout them every single week, and they're all trying to vie for the chance of making it into these races, which have become very prestigious throughout the week. So even in the few weeks where we weren't broadcasting, this race was still consistently the highest soft race of the week.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. It's great. It's great to see, and certainly makes it rewarding for us here in the booth. But that might wrap us up for this week. Corey, what you got going on this week coming up?
So we got a little bit of variety streaming planned for the week. We still got one more day of Daytona and Bathurst, so I might get on and do a couple of Bathurst races in the Skippy tomorrow. The track changes are going to Daytona Road for the NASCARs. So on Friday morning, you'll be seeing me tackling NIS at the Daytona Road course, which for me is a bit of a daunting task because I'm not too terribly good at road courses in the old NASCAR, big old heavy thing that it is. On Wednesday, over on the Aussie Sim Commentator channel, Aussie_Sim_Commentator, we will be having the Rock Out with Your Sock Out 150 from the Las Vegas Motor Speedway for the Output Racing League. Of course, they're running the ARCA cars for this season, so the new damage model well and truly in effect. We saw it a bit in the practice last week, not so much in the race. The race was actually pretty clean, barring the initial start. And actually, in just about an hour's time, Alex, I got a video coming out on my YouTube from a little bit of impromptu commentating that I did with a couple of American streamers yesterday during a random B fixed race before we tackled NIS yesterday.
Yeah, beautiful, mate. Look forward to that one. And of course, everything Top Split is on your screen at the moment. Please like, subscribe, thumbs up, all those different things on the different platforms that they really do help us make and grow the community. Discord, of course, where we do the broadcast. You can find where to get your names in the overlays and your teams and all the rest of it, the photos that you might have seen as well. We also do the post-race interviews there, of course. The Top Split YouTube is where you find this replay of this race and all the other in MNL and SNL history. And of course, this channel is where you'll find us each and every Sunday night, along with the chaotic one himself, Corey Has No Life 13. But for now, folks, I have been your host, Alex McKellar, and joining me, as I said, was the chaotic one, Mr. Corey Steinhauser. And until next time, I'll thank you for your support, both on and off the track. And until next time, we'll say ciao for now.